They say that Chicago is the second city.
I don't know.
She's already laughing. Second city to what? I'm sorry, I think it's the first city when it comes to blues music. Yeah, and I think it's the first city when it comes to phenomenal architecture in this place. It has more space than New York. Phenomenal, yeah, second city. We got all this stuff. This is, yeah, awesome city. Although, one thing that we're missing is this phenomenal poet named Gayle with this ice-colored hair. And I'm so looking forward to hearing this woman go up here. Ladies and gentlemen from New York, give it up for Ice Gayle! Yeah!
Oh, wow. Okay. First, let me say it's really a pleasure to be here, and hello to Maureen Flannery, who is going to be in our new anthology called Gape Seed. So we're very, very excited. Round of applause. And I'm actually very honored that you invited me to do this.
You sound like you're an editor. She's going to be, what do you have going on?
I am the editor of Upper Press, and we are very excited. Our new anthology will probably be out probably the end of September, the mid-September, hopefully September period. And we'll be starting a tour probably to the West Coast, and hopefully we'll be in Chicago at some point very soon. So yeah, we would love to be here. I'm going to start out with a poem called In the Dark. It's still dark outside. I feel a cold wind on my shoulders when I come back to this place. Could be I'm daydreaming, could be I'm dreaming, and then I'm standing in the street looking up at myself in this window. Far back in the room is a small fluorescent light that peeks out over my head. I hear someone calling, and as I turn, I realize I'm in a hospital room where my father is. There must have been several beds, and now I can't remember if there were any other patients beside him. All I see is a white room and beds on both sides, and everything in the room is white. And there is a glass panel with windows stretched across the wall, and a wood panel in the bottom half with a door in the middle. We're probably in a ward. He looks like something I can't explain. I don't know this image. He reminds me of 2001 Space Odyssey, gaunt face, and his stomach is distended, moving slowly up and down with his breath. His face is sunk in, and all his hair is gone. I stared at him for a long time in disbelief. I wanted to put my hand on his face and hold it, but I couldn't. I had only just reconnected after a long period of silence. By the time we had seen each other after almost a year, his spirit was weak. I feel my teeth beginning to grind. My mother never got him to do anything, including the doctor. If I had called, if I had said something, I would have broke our silence and made peace with him. Now, I'm a lady in waiting at the window, waiting for a final breath, the end to a bad story, a devastating story, and no place for peace. "Excuse me," the nurse said. "Your father." Her voice was quiet, and I could hear the sounds out in the hall. "Don't touch him," I said. "Please." I sat for a minute at his bedside and held his hand until it was cold. These next couple of pieces are going to be from a forthcoming book called Lady Grizzly and Sir Charles Otter. a broken woman. It's a dark, gloomy day in the cemetery. It's funny, I can't remember when the dirt under my feet was this soft. My shoes sink, and I watch the dirt lay over. I want to take my shoes off and stand barefoot and squeeze the soil between my toes and say a real goodbye and say, I'll miss you, Daddy. I see my breath as we all stand around at my father's funeral, without tears, without conversation. We all stare in different directions. It should be you, I say, in the ground, in this wet, in this dirt. We don't speak for months. 5:30 a.m. Inhuman sounds shout through the phone, hang-ups, crying, and more. I unlist my phone. I can't show any sympathy. He's calling me, she rants as she walks through the house, always tearing at her hair. Endless hysteria, and no one loves me, and I'm all alone. I gave my life for you kids. I finally say, why don't you eat that last piece of cheesecake you always leave on the kitchen table? I used to play this game with my mother. She would throw knives and forks and spoons and dishes, and I would run and hide and sing at the top of my lungs, "You can't catch me." And the dining room table always stands on a slant. She did catch me. One more part of this collection, the Grizzly Bear. The sound of the grizzly bear stomping through the house, moaning and panting and breathing heavy and crying, "I'm hungry." She wears a helmet of fingers on her head. One thin slice of cheesecake sits on the kitchen table. She sleeps in a chair, wearing a house dress, with the smell of yesterday. I have time for one more poem. I've started a collection called 9/11. I was there on 9/11, and this is called In Witness, 9/11. Who's going to catch these people? I read the same paragraph over and over. It's Tuesday morning, 8:30. I was on my way to drink a cappuccino and read for an hour before the gym. 9/11. I read the same lines over and over. 9/11. The women on the corner of Jane and Hudson said, "My neighbor went back to work this morning after being on maternity leave. I know she works in one of the towers, but I don't know which one or for who." I left and continued walking. 9/11. The first plane had already hit the South Tower, 4 floors down from the roof. I thought, what a waste of time to continue to read the same line over and over and over and over. And so I paid for my cappuccino and I left. 9/11. I stood paralyzed, watching the second plane turn on its side and hit the North Tower. I left and continued walking. Crossing Hudson Street, a man came towards me screaming, "It's a terrorist attack! It's a terrorist attack!" And I looked at him and I said, "Don't be ridiculous. Terrorist attack. Terrorist attack." I watched people moving in tandem, migrating up from Battery Park, stopping in and asking to use the phone. You see, at that time, my gym was on West 12th and West Street. And I was on the elliptic that day, and I was facing the Hudson River when I saw people looked like they had been in a snowstorm, slowly, 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 slowly walking, and I'm lifeless. 9/11. Can you believe this? One of the trainers said, all these people, I want to call home, someone said, who stopped in, and let my family know I'm okay. You see, Manhattan was on lockdown. You couldn't get in and you couldn't get out. Who's going to catch these people? Who, over and over, who's going to catch these people? Toppling out of windows, looking like stick figures, flipping over with her hands stretched out, plastic-looking figures without motion, hands flailing in the air, lifeless. They were lifeless. Each morning on the corner to the gym were bottles of water and flowers. There were no survivors. 9/11. I can't get off this machine. I can't stop thinking. I can't stop. Who's falling out of these windows like stick figures without emotion? I'm running and I can't get off the step. White powdered suits marching like zombies, rigid and slow and lifeless. Please, I want to get off this machine. I want these people to stop falling in front of my eyes, and I want this shooting ball of fire to stop shooting. I want this ball of fire to stop. I want this ball of fire to stop. To stop. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.